The cemetery, behind its discreet neighbourhood walls, appears as one of the strange and last shelters of dreams and illusions, of that which is different and unknown, of that which is extraordinary and magic. What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. GV here. So today I'm in Bath Abbey Cemetery in Bath City in the UK, and there's some very historic monuments and a couple of famous graves here also, so I hope I'll come across those. So this is Bath Abbey Cemetery, and as you walk in you can just see that beautiful church up on the hill there. And there's also an obelisk style monument here that's dedicated to the war. So we'll go and have a read of this. Now it is raining here today, so I hope the rain kind of holds out and we get to see some of these historic places today. So it says, erected by citizens of Bath in honour under God of those heroic men, especially their fellow citizens and friends here recorded, who laid down their lives in the campaigns of 1854 to 55, so triumphantly achieved for the liberties of Europe. And it says, there is a time to die. And just up there you can see a number of names. Major W. Swinton, Royal Artillery. Lieutenant Tyler, 62nd Regiment. Major General Sir John Campbell, KGB. So it's a really nice monument, and we see a wreath left here with poppies on it, remembering all the people who fought for their country, all the heroic and brave men, and also women, I might add in there also, because women are a part of the war also. You know, you have your nurses and whoever else was there to help in any way they can. So a big shout out to men and women. General Richard de Boffre Couillon, it says on that. So there's a number of paths here in the cemetery. You see one just there in front of me, and they all lead to different areas in the cemetery. Now there is parts of the cemetery where it's extremely overgrown, and they just kind of cut only the areas where there's paths. So why that is done, I don't know. This is my first time here in Bath, and it's a really beautiful cemetery. Now you can see here what I'm talking about. This is overgrown. And we have that chest tomb just there with that beautiful carvings on it. And it's sacred to the memory of Lieutenant General G.D.Dun Dunn, Her Majesty's Madras Army, who died in 1864, aged 77 years old. So I'll go up this direction because it looks like there's a lot of nice looking monuments, as you can see. It's a bit like Highgate Cemetery in a way. You know, you have all that overgrowth, and these beautiful ones that are hidden, and unfortunately it's hard to get in there, so You can see a number there, and I think it's number 15 on this one. A beautiful urn on top of that. And I'll just zoom in as close as I can to give you a look. And you can just see a stag engraved into that stone urn there, monument. It's really nice, and I cannot see a name. They have faded away over time. We have a half pillar here which would depict a life cut short on this one, and the name on that is Robert Scott, Esquire, who died 1861. I'm sure he was a young man, because when you see the pillar, you know the life was cut short represents. Sacred to the memory of Lady Catherine Margaret Keith, third daughter of Anthony Adrian, 6th Earl of Kiltor, who died at Bath the 11th of December 1849, aged 79 years old. Now there is a number of ones here. I don't know if it's safe to actually walk in here, but I'll go in and try and get a better look in here. And these look like vaults to me. You can just see the moss is growing on top of it there. There's a kind of a gap there, but you can't really see anything. This one is the Reverend Robert Jesser. Fell asleep in Jesus, August the 24th, 1847, aged 36 years old. So a very young Reverend laid to rest there. And you can just see them all there. They're kind of overgrown, and moss is gathering on top of them. Another box tomb, or chest tomb I should say, and there's a number 14 on these. So these are historic graves here. So we'll just read, if we can, what it says on them. Frederick Blandy, it looks like. And it's very hard to read these unless I can see it in edit, but they're extremely faded away on these. Now we can read this one here. Agnes Arlandi, born in 1857 and died in 1915. Youngest daughter of Frederick and Ellen Blendy or Blaney, maybe that could be there. So it's an historical chest tomb. So if I come across that name, I'll look it up and see can I find anything online. Now this is a beautiful one here. Look at this scroll on top of this, and the little flowers. You can just see the scroll there and the flowers on it. Very realistic. And this one says, sacred to the memory of Doveton Chalmers, only son of James and Aenor Swan of the island of Ceylon, who died in 1832, aged only 5 years old. 5 years and 1 month it says on that. Isn't that beautiful? And all the flowers that's growing around it there, the wild flowers. Another half pillar here. And this says Harvey, the infant son, St. John and Isabella Forsman. Of St. Petersburg, born September 1845 and died in Bath in October 1844. Now, I don't know how that makes sense, guys, because the name is up here and it's Robert Harvey, the infant son of A. St. John and Isabella Forsman of St. Petersburg, born in September the 20th, 1843. Oh, sorry, I got the date wrong. I thought it was a 5. 1843, and died in 1844. So only a little baby. And there's that pillar of the life cut short, as I was explaining there earlier. So we'll keep moving on, guys, and we'll keep searching around this beautiful old cemetery here in Bath. Some very historical monuments here. Another beautiful one here. Look at that designs. It's a pillar and the top has broken off the pillar. And all those beautiful flowers on it there. And an urn on top. So, and just have a look at this. And it says, sacred to the fondly cherished memory of Louisa Signac, widow of Alfred Waring, Esquire, of Chewton Priory, Somerset, the beloved and only child of Thomas and Louisa Gill of Sydney Place in this city. Who wed after 6 months marriage. Widowed after 6 months marriage, surviving her husband but 1 year and enduring a lingering illness, with utmost resignation to the divine. Wow, that's interesting. That one there. There's some more writing on the other side. Here rests the remains of John Gill, Esquire, of this city, who departed this life January 1851 in his 85th year of his age. Another beautiful urn. So we continue down this path and see where this leads us. So it's quiet here today. I don't see any people. I think I saw maybe 2 people here today. And usually cemeteries are really busy with people walking dogs. There's a big thing here in the UK and the big cities. You see people walking their dogs. So it's almost like a nature trail for people here also to walk around and explore and look at past lives of people and inscriptions. We have one here just kind of lying on the side of the hill here. Harriet Ann, born in 1786 and died in 1871, widow of the late Reverend. hectare of ruin. Some of them are kind of hard to get to, but we'll do our best to read them. Another beautiful one here, if I can get up this hill, guys, to see. And look at that for stonework. You have like flags, spears, there's a gun there, a rifle and flags. So this is obviously a war monument here, and it says Lieutenant Colonel Sir William Locker Freeston, First Class San F, entered the army in Ensign 1811 in the 5th Regiment of Foot, served in Canada, the West Indies and Syria, and on the staff of General Sir de Lacy Evans in Spain, and Deputy Lieutenant for Dorset, who died on April the 16th, 1862. And that is a beautiful monument. So I have to be careful where I'm walking, guys, because it's on a very, very steep slope just there. But you can just see that monument, and I'll zoom in to show you a bit better. A beautiful monument with those little pillars, 4 all together on it. So the rain has stopped, thankfully, and it's dry. This looks like a dial here, almost like a sundial or something. And there is a name on it there. It says Charles Left of Love. Charles Nor. And there's another name on the other side, and I can't really get in to see it. And it just says here, sunshine. So it's a sundial. I'm sure there's someone buried there, and that's the marker there. So there's that beautiful church in Bath Abbey Cemetery, and we'll go over and have a closer look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It sits up on top of the hill, and I'll just show you the view. It overlooks Bath City. Lovely architecture in that tower, and it's closed up, unfortunately. So it's almost like, I suppose, a funeral chapel maybe. You can see those steps there going in, the colourful steps, and the big iron door there that's locked up, and a padlock on it, with all that beautiful stonework. Look at that up there, and the ceiling. So as I was saying, you can see Bath City from here, and that is all Bath there in the distance. And Bath is a really, really nice city, full of old buildings and history, and this Roman architecture. Another beautiful monument just here, and it's an urn again. Very popular, these urns, you know. I believe they're back at Victorian times, all these urns. And it just says on it here, sacred to the memory of Samuel Maxwell Hines, Esquire, of the island of Barbados, who died in this city May the 19th, 1847, aged 52 years old. Isn't that beautiful? And those lovely pillars. And you can hear the planes overhead flying over Bath. And I love how all that ivy grows up along it there. Quite nice. So there's more inscriptions here. So it says, and to the memory of Louise Victorine St. Rose Hinds, widow of the late Samuel Maxwell Hinds, Esquire, born in 1801 and died in 1878. So I'm just going to follow this trail down along and see where it goes. Now this one is gorgeous. Look at this. Look at that. You have the family crest, it looks like, at the bottom of it there. And it's almost like a coffin or a casket shape you'd see in America. This one here. I'm just going to try and read. Look at that design and stonework on top of that. Isn't that something else? And it says, wife of Admiral Sir William Hargood, it looks like. And the writing kind of goes all the way around it. And it's hard to get around just to see what it says on the other side because it is overgrown, but it is a stunning looking grave, isn't it? Casket looking. So you have all these windy paths that go around the old cemetery here, and it's almost like a maze. Another one here in memory of George Stothart of the city, who died November the 24th, 1818, aged 64. Also of Anne, his wife, and the mother of his 4 eldest children, who survived both parents. She died on March 13th, 1788, aged only 32. Their remains are deposited in the vault under St. James's Church in Bath. Beneath this monument, it says, afterwards are interred the remains of Elizabeth George Stothart, died in 1855, age 89. And it's just this little marble seat here, and it says, in loving memory of Michael John Edward Bickley, architect, 1938 to 2010, dearly loved husband of Julia Prine Fitzgerald and devoted father of Benedict, Christopher and Walter. So we have an architect buried here in the cemetery. Now I'm not sure of the size of this cemetery, but it is large. And you can just see the church there again in the background. Beautiful. And look at these wrought iron. Look at these railings here. Aren't they beautiful? Really strong looking. And the chain is missing off that. That goes all around. Those iron posts kind of there. So on this video, actually, while I'm here, I would also like to thank everybody who subscribed to my channel. And if anybody subscribed, please make sure you hit the notification bell, because it also lets you know when I upload my next video also. So make sure the bell icon is turned on for the videos. And I also want to thank anybody who supports the channel in any way they can, watching videos, hit the thumbs up, and a big shout out also to all my members who have joined the channel also. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate every last one of you. Look at this beautiful angel again. I love, for the few people that's on the channel that knows me and has been with me for a while now, they know about me and these angels, that I'm a big fan of angel statues. And there's just something about them. And the way they were made back in the day, they're absolutely amazing. And here we have another example of that. She's holding a little bunch of flowers, and they look like lilies maybe. She's looking down, and there's a load of thorn bushes there, so unfortunately I can't read it. Another gorgeous one here. This monument and frail memorial, it says, is mark the sacred and solemn spot of Jane Weeks Williams, the affectionate and dearly loved wife of F.Y. Williams of Claremont Place in the city, Esquire, whose sudden and removal from this vain world after an illness of merely 24 hours endured. And it's a gorgeous looking monument. Let's look at that. You see the woman there with her gown on and the urn in the middle. She's resting her elbow up on top of the urn like she's mourning the person that has passed away. And then on the other side, then you have that lovely angel, and the face is kind of worn away on the angel there, but you can see that angel with those wings as well. Absolutely beautiful. So the sun is out, thank God. The sun is out, and thank God for the sun today, to be able to come here and show you people this beautiful cemetery. Some more marvellous stonework. And this one is sacred to the memory of Anne Partis, widow of Fletcher Partis, Esquire of the Middle Temple, who departed this life in January 1846 in the 89th year of her age. Blessed with wealth, her constant care was to use it to the glory of God and the benefit temporal and eternal of her fellow creatures. With the entire approval of her husband, who left all his property at her sole disposal, she built and endowed a college which bears his name, at Weston in this neighbourhood, for the repose, the relief, and the spiritual consolation of 30 gentle women, reduced by widowhood or orphanage, from affluence to privations and distress. So there's another very interesting one again. So here we have Anne, who was married, and her husband left her all his wealth, and she went along and built a college which bears his name at Weston. So that's why I love doing these cemetery videos, because you just don't know what you are going to come across when you read inscriptions on these old monuments. That's just another one there we found on our journey today. And they must have spent a pretty penny to build this monument also. So very generous people, it seems. And this woman built a college for other people. So rest in peace, Anne Partis. So I'm just down in the lower area of it there. You can just up through the middle of that, you can see the church where I came from, reading those monuments and graves up there, which is really beautiful there, that little path coming down, and very scenic looking. So you have this one here under the trees. Now it does look like there's a crest on this. We can see a crown. And some writing on it there as well. So that's nice. So I'm going to try and read what it says. Now there's a number on this also, number 9. So this is one that's marked as historical also. The Right Reverend Thomas Carr, D.D., 1st Bishop of Bombay. After his return from India, where he had served for upwards of 34 years, successfully as chaplain, archdeacon and bishop, he filled the office of rector of Bath for 5 years and 4 months, and died on the 5th of September 1859 at 72 years old. So there's a man that got around the world also and worked his way up in the church. So you can just see how beautiful it is around here. This old cemetery, Bath Abbey Cemetery. And there's one in there. I'm going to see, can I get her over and actually have a look and read some of that. It's extremely hard to get around some parts of it here because there's a lot of thorn bushes and stuff. Oh, that's a lovely little one in there also. Look at that. And it looks like it has like a stone roof on it almost. And there's no inscription on it. A lot of the inscriptions are faded off these. And it's a pity because you can't really remember these people. You know, when you go to read the monument, it's just worn away. Just found another one here, guys. And there's a number 1 on it, so it's a well-known person that's buried here. Just look at that eagle up the very top of it there. Sacred to the memory of John Monk Lamb, Esquire, paymaster in the Royal Navy, formerly of H.M. Her Majesty's ship Phoenix, who died much respected in this city on April the 28th, 1865, aged 75. Also Grace Jane, youngest daughter of the above, and the dearly loved wife of John Spires Baker, Esquire, who fell asleep in 1900. So maybe that's where it came from. He was part of Her Majesty's ship called the Phoenix. a little cross here that has fallen over and fell off the top of that base. Another number on this, number 2. Cherished memory of Charles Richardson, age 20, 4th son of Walter and Jane Richardson of Notting Hill, London, who died in June 1850. A stone urn, and it has kind of broken away in pieces there. You can see it's breaking. Agnes Eliza Main, youngest and last surviving child of the above, born in 1853 and died in 1938, widow of Albert Main, who was interred in the grave adjoining, it says. I've never seen that before written on a tombstone before. We have another name this side, Hannah Louisa, daughter of Charles Fuller, interred into rest in 1916. So you can just see how it's set up here. There's the church. A lot of graves here that are very, very hard to get into and read them. So guys, I think I'm going to wrap the video up there, and thank you very much for watching. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, it's free to subscribe. Also hit the notification bell, it lets you know when I upload a video again. So from me, grave visitations here in Bath Abbey Cemetery here in the UK. Take care guys, God bless, and I'll see you all on the next adventure.